Hi there, how you doing? I'm Gordon, one of the doctors. Can I just confirm your name and age, please?
My name's Kevin O'Loughlin and I'm 42.
40. Hi, is it okay if I call you Kevin?
Yep.
Okay. So Kevin, I was just reading through your notes there, and I gather you've come in to get some test results, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, why don't you tell me a bit about what's been happening with you then from the start? So,
Right, okay, about 4 months ago, started having problems with my eyesight. Never had a problem ever with my eyesight, it's been totally fine. It progressively got worse, started to affect my work, home life and stuff like that, just then my wife sort of nagged me, sort of thing. I had to go and see the doctor, so I went to see the doctor. He wasn't too sure what it was. He sent me to a specialist. I went for a scan. It was quite kind of quite full on, the scan. I thought I was going to get results. I didn't get anything there. I was asked to leave, and they told me that I would get the results soon. I got a letter through. Obviously, I'd be able to come in person. Also, it's in the letter to bring a family member. Sorry, I'm a little nervous because when you hear that or read that, you start to get, a bit feel the worst. So my wife's in the car park anyway, so I'm just here to figure out what's going on.
Okay, and so I have the test results here for you. We can kind of go through that together. But first of all, you mentioned some symptoms with your eyes. Do you have any just now, or are they getting any better? Or
yeah,
worse?
It's pretty ongoing. It's just so my wife had to drive in today. I've not been able to drive for 4 months. I'm a plumber, so with certain jobs it's just been impossible. It's kind of a heavy blurriness.
Have you tried any treatments for it? Has anything worked? Or
when I went to the doctor, the GP, he was a bit concerned when I described it to him. I went to the opticians first off, just going to sort it out. They said they were concerned as well. Doctor was concerned. I went to the specialist, I got the scan. So of all those sort of things, nothing seemed to work out. So I've tried all the basic stuff first.
Drops and everything. So your wife's obviously out in the car. Do you want to bring her in while I deliver the news, or are you?
Yeah, we had a debate about that. I'm happy just to come in here myself, figure out what's going on, and then I'll take it from there.
Okay. And do you have any concerns about what you think that the scan might show?
Well, I stupidly did the Google Doctor thing, and obviously it's brought up cancer, brain tumour. So my mind's racing. Sorry. So I just thought, you know what, the best thing to do, just put it out your head, come and speak to yourselves, and then get it sorted. Okay,
so the scan, it doesn't show any brain tumours or anything like that.
Right, okay.
Or anything like that. However, it does show a cause for your symptoms.
Right, okay.
So what the scan basically shows is that there's some inflammation, around the nerves in your eyes. Okay. When we, as doctors, have a look at the scan results like that, we say that is very likely to be through a disease called MS, or multiple sclerosis. Have you heard of that?
I don't know a lot about it. I've heard of MS. No, I've not in great detail, don't know too much about it. Sorry. How serious is MS? What's I don't know anything. I just think older people have MS. People are like 70 or 80. What's the deal? How?
Okay, so it's not necessarily a disease of older people. It can affect younger people, people your own age group as well. Essentially what it is, it's what we would classify an autoimmune disease, okay? And what that basically means is a fancy term that says that it's your own body causing the inflammation, okay, round about your own structures, okay? In this case, it's the nerves, okay? So it's essentially your own body it attacks your nerves. It mistakes it for an intruder or a kind of infection, and essentially it causes this inflammation around about the nerves, okay? This condition doesn't necessarily mean that you're only going to get symptoms to your eyes only, okay? It can affect the nerves elsewhere in the body, okay, not just specific regions. So you may find you may have other symptoms, so muscle weakness, for example, or some issues with sensation, okay? You may feel numbness in certain areas, okay? It tends to be a condition, like I say, it's caused by inflammation, so sometimes we can treat that inflammation, okay? And there are 4 broad categories of MS to consider, okay? Some of them are a bit more serious than other ones, okay? The best person to speak to you in more detail about that is probably going to be the consultant, okay? So I'll essentially arrange for the consultant to come in and speak to you, and he can maybe tell you in a bit more detail about what you can really expect going forwards in terms of your symptoms, okay? It might be we need to get another couple of tests in as well.
Okay. Sorry, so see, in terms of, will this go away, or is this permanent? What's the deal? Is this treatable? Will it go away, or have it forever?
Okay, so that's a good question. Oftentimes, if you have a bit of inflammation around some of the nerves, we can do our best to treat that. Okay, we normally treat that with things like steroids, and there's a couple of other drugs that we can maybe look into providing for you when you have flare-ups, for example. And that tends to dampen down the inflammation around about the nerves. Now, for example, your eye situation there, we give you some treatment for that. You might find that you have a bit of recovery, okay, so your vision gets a bit better, but it might not ever quite go back to the baseline at what it was before you had the attack. Okay, so I can't tell you when or what nerves it's going to happen to, okay, and I can't tell you how successful the treatment's going to be. You might get almost full recovery, okay, from one of these attacks. You might not, okay. Some of the time it's just quite dependent.
Sorry, my mind's a bit mad here.
No, I can understand. It's a lot to take in.
So obviously, I work as a plumber. Is this going to affect? Will it affect my work? It will affect every day. Can you tell me now at this present moment how it's going to affect, my job?
Yeah, so I think that's a very good question. Unfortunately, it's not one I really can give you an answer for. Certainly, I can't tell you when you're going to get flare-ups. I can't tell you where you're going to get these kind of flare-ups and how long they're going to last. Okay, it varies widely depending upon each individual, unfortunately. But what I can tell you is it may affect your job in certain ways. Okay. I can't tell you any time frames for this, but I can tell you that we can do our best to try and minimise this by some treatments. Okay. And there's good treatment options coming out all the time. Unfortunately, as of yet, though, there is no cure. So you're a young man, you've got some years ahead of you to be working, if that's what you decide to do. Particularly if you're self-employed, I understand that can be, a devastating diagnosis, essentially going forward with that. But I think if we can get you on certain treatments, certainly we will be looking at extending that time that you have to work.
Okay. So going forward from here, I go back to the first consultant, is that right?
That's right. So what I'll do is I'll book you in an urgent appointment, to see the consultant afterwards, who he might have more answers to some of the questions that you'd be wanting to ask. Okay. I would probably recommend you take someone else with you.
Yeah.
And another bit of advice would be, as soon as a lot of people see doctors, all the questions that they have thought about beforehand, they kind of go out their head. So I would probably recommend you maybe get a pad and a paper and write down any questions that you have, and then you can go together and any concerns you have, maybe you'll do his best to answer them.
Okay. Right. Okay, sorry, my head's going buzzing just now. So when I leave here, I'm going to go in the car and tell my wife, I'm effectively, if I can say this back to you, I'm telling her I've got MS. I'm telling her that at this present moment we don't know how bad it is. I'm getting an urgent appointment from the doctor for the first consultant that's seen.
That's correct.
He will give me a more informed, detailed analysis of what kind of MS I have. Is that right? Okay. And then are we just going to take it from there? Is that the plan? Right. Okay.
That's right. So we'll come up with a treatment plan for you then, and see what we're going to do.
Okay.
As you're having some ongoing symptoms, I'll prescribe you some steroids just now, so hopefully that should help a wee bit with that. I'm aware it's kind of a bit later on during the day, so sometimes with steroids you can have a bit of trouble sleeping if you get them later on at night, so I'd maybe advise you to take them in the morning if possible, just until you go and see the consultant, and then they can look at putting you on some different treatments. Okay. If you have any, like I say, questions or anything burning in between then and now, then certainly you can have the contact details. You can always give us a wee email and I'll give you a phone call. Okay, and I can do the same if your wife wants to speak to someone. Okay.
Yeah, I think she'll want to speak to someone.
Definitely. But the thing to know would be, I can only really tell what I've kind of told you. The consultant would be the best person to answer a lot of the questions that you'll have.
Okay. All right. Okay. Right. A daft question just before I leave. People had MS and had ordinary lives. That's kind of effectively just something told on to before I get this consultant.
So I think MS in general, like I say, affects different people differently. Normally, like I say, there is some issues that they'll have further down the line, whether that's issues with their eyes, sometimes it can be issues with their legs and walking, okay? But I can't tell you how severe it's going to be. For some people it's very, very severe. For other people, like I say, they don't have too much of an impact on their life.
Okay.
For many, many years.
And the consultant I'm going to see, will he have a more definite answer to that, or is this an ongoing thing? Is this something that they have to monitor every month, 2 months, or will he know more detail?
So he'll know more detail, and they can kind of make a judgment based on what he thinks is going on with you. You'll have a look at the scan, you'll have a look at some of your other tests. Okay. You'll be assigned a nurse, essentially, an MS, who will check up on you. Okay. From then, unfortunately, like I say, this is not something that we have a kind of cure for, so you will be in contact quite closely with the nurse initially, and then normally it's a kind of a thing you see a couple of times a year afterwards, unless you get bad flares. Right. Well,
I think my head's a bit fried, but thanks. I appreciate the time, and understand you can't tell me more details, so I'll wait till when will I see this other consultant?
Excuse me. So I'll make an urgent appointment, so it should be within 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right.
No worries.
That's fine.